All right. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Dr. Carolyn Smith. This is the October 15th Committee for Persons with Disabilities monthly meeting, and I'm happy to see everybody here. We're going to do really quick intros, and then we're going to move forward. So I'd like to start at the end at this young gentleman.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Paul Houston, representing District 4 under Monica Montgomery Staff. Just want to say hello and good morning. Good afternoon.
Thank you, Paul. Laura Hansel here in Seat 5, District 3, appointed by Chair Tara Lawson-Remer. Very happy to be here. Thanks.
Dr. Carolyn Smith, I am your chair, and I'm appointed by Joel Anderson.
Jeanette White Shelton, representing District 3, Tara Lawson-Remer.
Susan Madison, District 2, Joel Anderson, member at large.
And I know that we had a member who was going to participate as a modification, who had requested to participate as a modification due to disability, and that's Jessica Kramer. I don't see her on. Is she on? Nope. Okay. Yes, she's a guest, member of the public.
All right, so we call to order the meeting. Thank you for everybody for being here and those online. I appreciate you. We're going to go to agenda item number 2. This is a statement for just cause and or consideration of a request to participate remotely, if applicable.
None.
None. Thank you. So we do.
Jessica actually is not considered a just cause or emergency circumstance. It's a ADA.
Understood. Okay, thank you. All right, let's get on to.
But she could introduce herself if she would like, as a committee member.
Sure.
Jessica,
Hi.
could you introduce yourself?
Yes, how's my volume?
Good.
All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Jessica Kramer. I'm appointed by Jim Desmond, District 5. And I am a person with a disability, a dynamic disability, which means my disability limitations and needs can change from one day to the next. And I'm very happy to be here today.
Oh, Jessica, are there any adults in the room with you?
Just Lucius.
He does count as an adult.
Hi, Lucy. All right, good to see you, Jess. We're going to go to agenda item number 3. We are going to vote on our September meeting minutes. Go ahead, Laura.
Yes, thank you, Chair. Laura here. So I think there was just one typo I pointed out over email. That is the vote to approve meeting minutes should say September, not August. And then the only other change I would recommend, that instead of saying under the working session, the strategic focus area, saying assigned, maybe tentatively assigned, but we were definitely having a very loose conversation. I don't think assigned quite reflects the meeting.
Yeah. All right, can I get a motion on that?
I move to approve the September minute meetings as amended.
I'll second that motion.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those disagree? No?
Opposed?
Opposed? Sorry, my mind blanked. All those opposed?
Did you get a vote from Jessica? Okay, thank you.
She's raising her
Any
hand.
abstains? That would be myself. I'm abstaining. I wasn't here and I didn't get.
So that would be 5 yeses.
Yep.
And 1 abstention.
Yep, thank you. All right, meeting.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's okay. No. Okay, this is our agenda item number 4. This is our non-agenda comment. Members of the public may address a county issue not elsewhere on this agenda. Each speaker may take up to 2 minutes. Speakers may be limited to less time if several speakers have requested to speak on the same issue. The Committee for Persons with Disabilities is prohibited by the Brown Act from acting on or voting on any issue that is not already on the agenda unless deemed to be urgent. Do we have any public non-agenda comments? Going? Do we have anything in the chat? Anything? Gone. All right. That was quick and dirty. Agenda item number 5 is our Live Well Advanced School Summit and Conference. So,
Okay. All eyes on me. I guess I get to do it.
yay.
As moderator, I drafted a slightly revised agenda based on meeting with the folks involved, which were panelists. We have 4 panelists who will be speaking very briefly. The workshop is 45 minutes. The title is We're Better Together, a collaboration between the San Diego County Committee for Persons with Disabilities, the District Attorney, and the Sheriff's Department. I will do the welcome. Again, I'm just the moderator. I'm there to sort of bring everybody, sit down, be quiet. Yay, we're starting. Um, And I hope that all the committee members can come. It's a week from today, which is Wednesday, October 22nd. You have to register, but it is free, including lunch and snacks. It's from 8 to 5, 8 to 4, basically. And it is going to be right after lunch at 1:15 till 2 o'clock, so 45 minutes. So I'll welcome everybody. I will introduce the panelists and talk about certainly the County of San Diego Committee for Persons with Disabilities. I want to acknowledge the members who are there. So I hope that you're able to come. I think you definitely, as members of the committee, have a role to greet people, introduce yourself, talk about the committee. Don't just hang out with people you know. Be polite. We're all in this together, and it's very exciting. Then I'll introduce Jeanette. She will go first. She has 3 minutes. I gave myself 3 minutes because I realized I didn't really have time in 2 minutes. So very tight. She'll talk about our mission, the importance of collaboration, because this is an emphasis on collaboration. Then the DA's office will go. We're going to be honored with District Attorney Summer Steffen. Herself is going to come. Big deal. Thrilled. And she'll do her own brief introduction about the DA's commitment to inclusion. Excuse me. And then explain the work that led us to the creation of their video. She's going to mention the elder and independent adult blueprint that we gave input on. She's going to acknowledge Barbara, because Barbara her role obviously was in creating the video, if you guys remember. And she's going to recognize Yoli for leading the process. Then we will have DA's office, Marla Kincaid. She will give an overview of the content of the video, the purpose of the video, and show it. God willing, pray for our IT and tech. I mean it. Please, God. And then we will have John Baylog. I learned how to pronounce his name, from the sheriff's office, talking about the Blue Envelope program. And he also has a very short video. He'll have 6 minutes. And then we'll go into Q&A. We opened it up. We plan on having, I hope, 13 minutes at the end. We will have the plan from the Live Well staff are that each room has a monitor, and they are supposed to help run mics. There's handheld mics. I have requested a table on the riser with 4 chairs and 4 table mics. That's what I requested. I would like all of the committee members, lunch is between 12 and 1. And if you can cut that a little bit short and get into the room, at the end of our lunch break, for sure by 1. I don't have it with me, but I know it's somewhere and I'll let you know.
I can probably find it. if
It's
the-
on the program. If you register and you get a program, it'll be in there. But yeah, it's like 1 or something. It's real simple, which made me think it was like first room you come to, but I don't know that. They said to expect about 75 to 100 people. We don't know for sure, of course. It should be crowded. So anyway, the handheld mics, then I will be using one of those and I'll just be staying down on the floor because I'm pretty sure there wasn't going to be room for 5 of us and me in the wheelchair up on the riser. And so that's the plan. So I'm going to have that moderator do it, or I will have one of you guys to run the mic. Very important, or maybe we could have 2 if there's 2 mics. So we'll just try to get questions from the audience. You guys can ask questions if you want. At the end, if no one else is asking questions, I really want this to be get buy-in, get ideas about how they can collaborate with their organizations and other organizations. And we'll wrap it up. We'll have to get out. They want you out right away when the workshop ends. That's a disadvantage. So if you are in the room as a committee member, I want to recognize you at the beginning. And I want to be able to have you say then, if somebody catches you in a conversation, which they probably will, say, let us move out in the hallway. We've been requested to vacate the room. And that's for obvious reasons. Another group's coming in and there's only 15 minutes for the trade-off. Any questions?
Thanks for doing all that and putting that all together. I will be there.
Great.
Yeah. I'm supposed to have a UCLA visit, but that was changed around. So makes sense for me to be there. Name tags? Do you
There, when you register, you will get a whole packet and a name tag and and your lunch ticket and everything.
Yeah, I wasn't supposed to be here on that day, so I am. So I'm gonna be a late register. So let's see what happens.
Well,
stay
you might
positive.
not,
They still have spots, but do it today because they said they're starting to fill up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And do you have any preemptive questions that you want us?
no,
No.
no.
There's
and-
no
and-
plants in the
and That's a
audience.
really good question about questions. And a lot of times we want people to do that.
Yeah.
I think this is going to be interesting and I think people will have questions.
Okay.
So I don't perceive that. If you sense that and nobody's raising their hand, which I can't believe.
That's what I was thinking.
And if you really allow the time and you see that happening, by all means, but ask a broad general one.
My broad general will be, does the board have slots? Because I see in yours, it says, oh, hey,
Mhm.
hey, we have 2 slots.
We
But
have
you
slot-
reiterate, maybe at the end, oh, hey, by the way, so do you guys have any slots on your board?
And we're
Right.
gonna have, that's fine. That's a good question. There is a PowerPoint that I don't have here up and running that Todd was gracious enough to put together. That will at the end, I believe,
Yeah.
Todd, I'm saying this out loud and I want you to nod your head. At the end, I believe,
It's a QR
Yes.
code.
QR code for our committee. If you're interested, it'll pop up at the end of the presentation on the slide deck. Thank you, Todd.
We also have member Jessica Kramer had her hand up.
Thank you, Todd. Thank you so much. That was an incredible presentation there, Sue. And I also want to thank everyone who's been on the committee who has carried the partnership with the staff, of course, staff, for carrying this partnership through to what it is today. The initial partnership that was started with the sheriffs and the district attorney close to 4 years ago started from a very humble beginning of some very devastating experiences that I had had, both with my service animal being denied and also being denied status as a dependent adult from an abusive situation where the sheriffs responded. And Michelle invited and staff invited Summer Stefan. She came, and then the members that came on just embraced it wholeheartedly, carried it through. The video is incredible, and I know that our newest members will continue to carry it on. So I'm just deeply grateful to the entire committee for all of the great work and the great change we've been able to make. It's so meaningful. And then also, I will not be able to be there because I am having a unexpected surgery. But Sue, if there's any way that you can recognize me, even though I won't be there, that would mean so much to me. I really wish I could be there with you guys. Thank you.
Understood. Thank you, Jessica. I'll do my best to remember.
We actually do have the names of the committee members is in the slide deck.
Oh, there you go. Todd's on top of it. Thank you, Todd.
No problem.
The room is 1B.
1B. Bingo.
Thank you, Jeanette. Laura, I looked up that up, but I couldn't find it.
1B.
That was an awesome
It's a big
presentation.
place.
Very, very detailed. I mean, I didn't have to do things, but just listen to every word. And I'll be at work. I'm sorry. That's a work day for me.
I know.
I'm double jobbing.
Well, I'm glad that you have a job.
Me too.
And so thank you for that. Anybody else?
No, I'm not ignoring you. I'm seeing if I've already logged, if I've already registered, so.
Laura here, I just wanted to say I'm planning on being there and looking forward to it.
Wonderful. Yeah, I think unexpected things. There's also supposed to be, besides the room monitor, a TA person, a technical assistant, a IT, whatever, and somebody that understands the technology of 3 different presentations with PowerPoints and 2 different videos. So we really, 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 really love that person will be in that room just in case.
One of the things to consider is giving them time to queue up each item. So potentially having some activity or some in the event that that it's taken them time to queue up the video or the slide decks, something like that, during each transition.
Would you like to lead us in a song and dance, Todd?
I could do Over the Rainbow.
He
I would
only,
love it.
yeah,
Yep,
he only does that in what month?
July.
Yeah.
July, Over the Rainbow.
All right, let's, was there public comment? You said that there was no, okay.
All right, thank you very much. Thanks for that, Sue. I appreciate it.
Oh, I did have, and I know that I did bring some of the blue envelope materials, and then as well, the Office of Emergency Services public or personal protection plans. We can have those materials. Potentially, we can scope out the lay of the land and potentially have those materials. If there's a table on the outside, we might be able to provide those materials as takeaways. We also do have the Committee for Persons with Disabilities table covering. So we can consider bringing it just in case to see, again, see what availability is there and then be able to have those materials as well.
Thank you, Todd. I assume you're going to be the lead on that?
Yes.
Thank you.
Sorry, I look like I'm playing on my phone, but I'm actually completing my registration because I didn't think I'd be here, but yay, I am. All right, we are going, everybody
The
good?
and Office of Emergency Services, he's asked to go later in the meeting. He's actually had a time conflict for earlier. So if we want to go on to the next item.
Okay, great. We'll reshuffle him. Agenda item number 7. This is our working session, our strategic focus area. Pretty excited for this. Okay, so Laura and I, Laura, all you.
Yes, Chair, what can I do? What would you like?
So, as you guys know, I wasn't here last meeting. I had some medical stuff ongoing. So what I think we're going to do is we are going to distill down into each strategic agenda item. We are going to finalize. And when I say finalize, that's really not the word I'm thinking of. Realize that the strategic focus in each of these categories, a couple things can be true. 2 things, 3 things, 4 things can be true at the same time. If we do determine that we're going to look at something very specific, it doesn't mean that that can't change, that can't grow, that can't, it's not the end of it, right? So once we get a recommendation push forward to us, then we're not going to take it off the agenda necessarily. We'll refocus and reshuffle, right? So if you feel like, well, that's not really what I wanted to, don't worry, you have plenty of opportunities, right? Does that make sense, to everybody?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yes, and Carolyn, I'm sure you probably are aware, but last meeting, we decided, or maybe 2 meetings ago, to sort of stay together rather than breaking up and then do independent research if we wanted and come back together. If we wanted to establish a team, we could do that too. Or we could just, okay, so you understand where I'm going here and,
I do.
okay.
That's the one thing I do remember. I have a brain injury, so it's exciting if I remember something. But what you said was actually so personally impactful to me that I remembered it. Not that I don't remember everything you say because you're awesome. But I mean the sense that you were saying, hey, look, I don't have additional time outside of life to do something on my own. So what we talked about, the executive staff, what we had talked about during our meeting, that sounds so like king queenish. I'll be the king. It's totally okay. That was so weird. Sorry, my medication is trying to kick in for the I'm in massive pain. I'm in blinding pain right now, and so my brain is just not facilitating. So that's why I'm looking at you for a little bit today. Okay. All right. So what we're going to do is let's drill down. So for example, in transportation, everybody kind of agreed that the paratransport was something we were going to focus on. So what we should do today is drill down in the other 3 categories, right?
Okay,
So if we drill it down, so that we can get a couple things to chat about, then each meeting we will have 15, 20 minutes. And if you want to break out into a team, you can. If you want to stay together, you can, right? And then if you on your own time outside of this board, you want to go further in any of the strategic focus areas, that gives you license to not just work on what you're working on, but if your passion really lies elsewhere and maybe that day we're not talking something that's really in your, you really have a whole lot of passion about, but you're being super awesome and helpful, then you can go do it on your own.
And member Jessica Kramer has her hand up.
Yes.
Thank you. So I would, so when it comes to behavioral health and crisis stabilization units, I can't see exactly who's there today, but we have had some new members come on who don't have the historical knowledge about how we came to be working on behavioral health and crisis stabilization units, and who also might not have been here when we gained insight from Umberto about having a supervisor sponsor a memorandum that would go to the rest of the supervisors for a vote regarding an ADA interactive process as robust for residents and community members who are engaged in county departments, being as robust for those individuals as it is for county staff. And the three departments we highlighted were aging and independent services, behavioral health, and housing. With housing today, we have a separate strategic focus that we've all honed into besides the ADA interactive plan, which is housing accessibility plans. And I think that that's valuable to continue today. But I am going to try to simplify and request that we move behavioral health and crisis stabilization units to a future agenda item to allow us to really be successful at the three other components and to be able to continue the previous plan of having the ADA interactive process for behavioral health be completed as a memorandum that Jim Desmond's office offered to sponsor and help draft and take to the entire Board of Supervisors. So I don't know if I need to make a motion to do that or just express my desire and my belief in the significance of doing that for the better of the work today and to be very wholesome with the behavioral health recommendations. But if I don't need to make a motion, then that's my request. And if I need a motion, somebody just let me know and I'll make one.
Okay, so what I think I hear you say, yeah. So can you sort of restate what you're asking?
Yes, no problem, Carolyn. I would like to pull how behavioral health and crisis stabilization units from the working group strategic planning for today. Just this idea that we're going to have these strategic planning, we're going to sizzle it down into some concrete recommendations. I would like us to focus on transportation, emergency services, and housing plan accessibility. And I would like to move behavioral health into a future separate agenda item.
Laura here, I just want to clarify. So Jessica, I understand what I'm hearing you say is that you'd like to move behavioral health and crisis stabilization units out of today's meeting into a future agenda item. So do you mean separate from the strategic focus areas, taking it out of that, or just talking about it as a strategic focus area in the future?
Yes, just separately from the three, because I think we have limited time and limited ability to go into the historical. And also it's kind of duplicating something that has been in the works for many months since Umberto's recommendation. So yes, my request is to take it out of today's meeting and give it its own a little bit more time in a future agenda item to discuss the historical reasons behind it, and also to keep it in the previous plan to have Jim Desmond's office draft the memorandum.
Laura here again. So it would remain a strategic focus area, just not discussed today.
Correct.
Is there a reason why you don't want to discuss today? We've got, our two new folks aren't here.
Yeah.
Here, that's why I was saying we should wait. Yeah.
Okay.
And Jessica, I want to remind you, you probably are aware, but it's on our agenda under new business, behavioral health.
Yeah.
Services request for modifications has been on our agenda several months now
As a
Yeah.
future agenda item.
as a future agenda item, new business. Is that gonna take care of that?
Oh, my bad. Thank you for clarifying. That's exactly what I would like to take care of, and I would like the new members to be involved.
Okay, yeah, I'm sorry. I was confused because I saw it on the agenda, so I was kind of like, I didn't, okay, we're good.
No, thank you, Jessica.
Thank
Lori
you.
here. Appreciate your clarification.
No
Thanks
worries.
for working with me.
Yeah, so we're good on that.
Bet.
Okay. All right, so, we are going to go into environmental, emergency preparedness. And our original drill down for that, part of that was, emergency egress for disabled in rural East County. And then the add-on, Sue had an add-on, on our last two meetings ago.
On what?
So this is basically the working group. So this is the time where all the voices are important, right? So it's not me talking, it's here is agenda item number one, and really pardon me everyone, I'm in pretty massive pain. So this is open mic, right? So my conversation or my wish would be that we have one of our focuses inside of agenda item number one, environmental emergency preparedness and public safety accessibility, to be evacuation plans and procedures for disabled ADA in rural East County. So from there, we should spring out. Jeanette, what's yours? Sue, what's yours?
Well, I brought information about, because I volunteered with Red Cross, and we worked a lot with the county and all kinds of agencies on personal planning. There's a Be Ready Red Cross program addressing people with disabilities in emergency planning, personal plans. And the county, certainly Office of Emergency Services through the county, works on it too. I brought a few notes, and I thought I could just provide information as a background about what I know. I could take, just a few minutes. I'm not sure everybody has that level of information that I have. I don't know. I don't know if it would be helpful or not.
So this is the helpful part. This is where each of us are bringing our lived experience, and then so we can see if there's something repetitive that's going to bring us into a couple focus areas inside of this,
Okay.
right?
Yes.
Okay.
So my opinion is there's lots of people, agencies, including our county, that have, and you've all seen it, they've been here at our committee, personal disaster planning. It's typically called access and functional needs in emergency planning. It means access and functional needs is people with disabilities, all kinds of disabilities, seniors, pregnant women, children, because all children have access needs if there's a problem, and people that are homeless. So it's a broad category, and those that have no transportation resources either. That's a huge access and functional needs, to not have transportation should you need to evacuate. But they want everyone to have their own plan with their own groups or their own neighbors or their own friends, because in a big emergency, as we know, somebody's not going to come up and go, here, let me help you. You have to do your own planning. And then what do you take and all of that, including being alerted. There is an Alert San Diego. How many of you are signed up for it? Nope. And Michelle wasn't either. Because Michelle said she didn't think they allowed cell phones, but they do. And so I'm going to say to everybody, please do that. It's easy. It's Alert San Diego. You Google it. You put in your number, your name, and they let you know if there's something going on. If there's time, obviously. And then there's all kinds of different emergencies. So we think about fire, but there's earthquakes, there's tsunamis now, there's all kinds of stuff. So that's it. I have a lot more where that came from if you ever want a whole training. Or we could do a training with the county, I think, and you would fill out your own emergency plan during the training.
Laura
Okay.
here. Yeah, Sue, that's a great idea. I was looking at our bylaws today and we can do workshops, for instance, and things like that. And this would be a great topic that's like actual
So we
effective.
need to represent that to the disability community we go out then to. So there's not, misinformation like, I don't know what to do. I don't know.
Member Jessica Kramer has her hand up.
I love those ideas. Love the idea of a workshop. And just for historical perspective, I want to let the committee know that I believe in 2021, could have been 2022, we met with, I'm guessing it was the Operation of Emergency Services. Todd, I don't know if you remember, but I do remember the content, which was we learned about the registry, not the registry. We learned about, Sue, what you're talking about. And we also learned that a strategic decision had been made to not allow people to do a voluntary registry for their specific access and functional needs because the county had determined that they believe neighbors can help neighbors better than a registry, which would, alert to pre-existing needs. And our committee was not pleased with that. So I think if we did do a workshop, I don't know that we can fight that fight, but one thing we can do is ask for collaboration with in-home supportive services registry, education about the Blue Envelope program, and collaboration with the Sheriff's Take Me Home program. Thank you.
I have a slight rebuttal there from me, Jessica. I'm on the other side of the aisle on that issue. I don't think that it's wise to have a big list where people think, oh, good, somebody's going to come and help me. It just is overpowering for the amount of people we have. And even if you did, you should also have a backup plan because there's things happen rapidly, really, really rapidly. So that's just my opinion on that.
Yeah, and in addition to that, especially because I do live in rural East County, I will say a couple things. That the reason why neighbors helping neighbors is an absolutely wonderful concept that doesn't work is because you transfer the liability to your neighbor. And nobody in their right mind would absorb the liability because if you'd signed up to something and there was I don't remember where they did this this look into this program. If I'm not home, but I promised Sue I would help save her, I've transferred liability somehow in a host of different ways. And in addition to that, that makes a lot of assumptions that the person is home in the emergency, and especially for rural East County, a lot of the time, especially in fire, you're not allowed through. Right. So if your primary helper is your neighbor that you've made a commitment with, if the roads are closed, you by all means have to have a legitimate backup plan. And maybe your neighbor helping neighbor is really like your tertiary plan, like your third plan, because there's far too many um, uh, things. They're not home, they're sick, if they're disabled, they've got their own things going on, maybe they can't get out, maybe they passed away, a whole host of reasons why we don't want to fight that fight for that one being the primary for this topic. It could certainly be secondary or tertiary, but way too much liability.
Oh yeah, that's why I was trying to emphasize not fighting that fight, because here we can all see where we all have robust opinions about it, but more so just with regards to education about like Blue Envelope program, for instance. Just seeing if there's any way to help emergency service teams understand that if they see, for instance, a Blue Envelope sticker, then they know that the person may have an access and functional need, just something like that.
Yeah, so for example, at my house on my mailbox, I have the blue envelope. And so then on the fridge, I have the, the card that's filled out. So I can sort of self-recover in that sense if emergency services do come. So the important part is really getting people to maybe start putting that sticker. Um, and not really that, because that's also a liability too, right? We don't want to necessarily push that, because then that emphasizes that there is a disabled person, which may make them vulnerable to other things. So I
A lot
always
of
look at
people
things
don't-
from the liability standpoint.
A lot of
right?
people don't want that out there.
Right. So, so we have to, when we make our recommendations and our conversations, this is the reason why we have this open time right now to hash out, hey, look, sounds like a great idea, but always consider the liability aspect of it.
Yeah, just to clarify, law enforcement is well informed about Blue Envelope, but firefighter paramedics do not receive any information on it. So that's kind of where I was leaning into. But again, this could be, maybe not in the recommendation we make today, but possibly something that we could consider for the workshop.
And that would be a great conversation, maybe even for our Live Well, is our fire and paramedic sped up on the Blue Envelope program.
For the future.
Yeah,
We'll see.
yeah.
We have our hands full.
So let's get back into so maybe that is one of, so I want to hear from, and I have a TBI, so hey
Paul,
you, pretty much everybody's hey you today. Paul. So when you look at the strategic focus for number one, environmental emergency preparedness, and you hear people having these conversations, what inside of these conversations kind of draw you into, hey, that's something we should look at further?
This is a goal to identify opportunities to improve accessibility. That's the recommendation for the board. Environmental preparedness, the public accessibility. So just making sure that we have ways and means to exit to that are accommodating to us or whatever disability. Like sometimes with one arm, there's something, things that are set up actually for two-armed people, and people may not identify that, things of that nature. But again, having ways to access to have an exit, have ways to identify whether it's signs, whether it's different type of ways to let a person know. I like the alert process to let us know these things are there or these things are accessible to us, or that we have these options. Ways can we not put up signs, but have these agencies have. I'm always about signs and symbols. Everything we do has a sign, tells us everything we do. So to that disability, so that person with that disability knows that signs or the public know, or however that person can be accessible that way. But it has to be where we know it, right? Or they know it, or that company is aware of it, or that agency is aware of it or prepared for it. That's the kind of way I was going. I didn't look at no specific agency.
Right, so,
Paul, is your microphone on?
Sorry, I apologize.
Thank you.
so when we talk about these things, or, we're going to end up doing recommendations to the Board of Supervisors. So what we're looking for, what I'm looking for everyone is a couple of concepts inside of strategic focus number one that we can go down the road for and either find a recommendation and close it out, or find a recommendation that opens up more ideas to talk about that same focus area, right? So what would be for you, and I'm going to go down the line, Paul, what would be for you a focus area for
Environmental?
yeah, thanks, sorry.
I got you.
I'm struggling today.
On environmental emergency preparedness, I'm trying to think of a good area. Definitely, again, like even with weather, in the type of environments that like yesterday when it was raining, what things can be more suitable for us when there's a big storm coming? Those type of things. Looking at, and I haven't, got to grasp the concept, but these are the areas that I think about, when I'm out and about. How is this going to help us if there's an emergency and it's a flood? Because things change for us. Someone that have full capability may be able to maneuver, navigate, effectively or not as effectively, but then for a person with disability, it's going to be maybe a little bit more harder. So what other accommodations can we have in place, especially when it's dealing with environment and some type of emergency? That kind of makes sense.
Okay. Laura. Oh, okay. Jessica, go ahead. Oh, I'm sorry.
Public comment. Do you want to take public comment after you are
Oh,
done?
yeah, let me grab from everybody real quick.
Laura here. Yeah, so I don't have any specific ideas, but I am very interested in this, and I don't know that it's a recommendation, but just public service in terms of people knowing what services are out there, what they need to do, alerts, all of these things. I think a lot of people haven't necessarily thought of this stuff. They wouldn't even know where to start, generally is my idea, but I don't know that that's a recommendation.
It could be, because it almost ties into what Paul's saying, right?
Yeah.
Because remember, at the end of the day, I'm trying to distill down a couple things that we can, as a whole, craft recommendation and put it to the Board of Supervisors, and they solve a problem. Because we're not here to solve a problem. We're here to find the gap inside of the ADA space from your lived experience and her lived experience and all of our lived experience, that we're like, hey, you guys, you haven't really looked at this yet. So inside of strategic one, you're like, man, every time this happens, I wish they would fix this. Right. So that's really what it is. Man, I wish they would fix this. This board is going to come together. We're going to chat about it as we are in each focus, number one, number two, number three, number four, obviously today, 1 through 3. And so that's how you should think about it. What is those things that are just grinding your gears inside of the ADA space that you wish the Board of Supervisors would deal with? So if I phrase it that way, maybe it'll be like, so for a prime example for me, I really wish the 67 gets closed down and there's no other egress to get out. Can't get your animals out, can't get your horses out. I wish the Board of Supervisors would figure out what to do in the 67 corridor, which they kind of have. They're about to do some things, but you were talking about signage. There's no signage about what to do. Right. So if you're a disabled person, there's 4,400 veterans just in Lakeside alone. Right. So my for environmental preparedness would be, I want the Board of Supervisors to research how they in East County could maybe just put up the big alert sign, traffic is diverted, this is closed, go down this road, start here, right? If they just did that one thing, there's your signage. So for me, that's what my passion would be. And so that would be for me, I'm going to write that down. That's what I want. I want signage in East County so that when fires and floods and the rains happen and people need to get out, you're not going to get out this way. And then what does that, and then my second one would be then, if it's something serious, how is public transportation going to help out? Right? So maybe the board of supervisors, maybe we can recommend to them, hey, spin up the emergency alert, and then maybe have the buses help transport the disabled out of East County to a place that's a little bit safer. So that's what we're trying to flush out.
Carolyn, Laura here, if I may just ask more on that. So in terms of our role, would we research signage, talk to Sandag? I don't know. Like what would you, we're not just saying you all need to figure this out. We're giving them more than that.
Right. So yes and no.
Yeah, okay.
Part of it is we are volunteers and we don't have the staff and we're not paid. Right? So the recommendations that come from this board go to the board of supervisors where they are all paid to flush this out. Right? So we can recommend to them that on Wednesdays, everybody should wear blue and send it off to them. They'd be like, okay, that's not going to happen. Our recommendations are not the end all be all. This is just a lived experience recommendation that grind your gears every day that you wish would be solved, that we're going to put into a recommendation inside of each strategic, your head. Oh, sorry.
You gotta sit up close. You
Okay.
gotta sit up
Okay.
close so Jessica can
Okay.
hear you.
You're out of this side, so I have to look at people. So every time we're all like this. Like, so that's what I'm trying to do, right? So inside of that, and then again, that's what I'm saying. This, whatever recommendation gets put forward, it's not the end all be all. It is a recommendation. This, so if my passion and I'm saying, hey, I want to solve this, I don't want everybody to be like, well, there's 10 other problems. Great, bring your 10 other problems to the board. Then if you have background and you have research on it, fantastic. If you on your downtime are going to research it, you're an overachiever. That's great. That's awesome. But if you don't, come here during this time and say, hey, look, does anybody know about this? And then if we don't, this will entice us to figure out who from the county can we get to come out and talk to us about it and educate us on the ways of this. So then we can go, oh, okay, well, that's kind of already solved. We really don't need to put that recommendation out. That'd make us look silly. Or, oh, geez, that is a problem and it's not been dealt with. So let's put it to the board of supervisors and then they use their resources to solve it. That answer? Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
What I'm hearing, Chair Laura here, is that we are not going to let perfection be the enemy of good. And we are going to do our best, depending how much time, bandwidth, how we're feeling for each individual within the team framework.
Correct.
Gotcha.
And again, if you want to go outside and you've got a battle buddy and you're like, hey, we're going to talk about service dogs, by all means, go and ad hoc yourself. Just let the board know what you're doing, right? Don't get into quorum issues and Brown Act violations. If you guys want to be overachievers and do it on your own, yeah, you are my people, right? And then if you're not, no problem. That's what this time is for. So this meeting is going to be a little bit more chaotic, but the next round, when we talk about these things, it'll make more sense. So we're not just talking about it and talking about it. We're like, okay, this is a problem. Who do we invite here to tell us about it? Oh, hey, look, that's a gap. Don't say anything. Let them go. And then we write down this is the gap.
We
Right? Let them
tattle.
go. Let them go. Because here's what I found, and I think most of you will agree, is that every time somebody comes to present, they spend 20 minutes telling us how awesome they are, then they leave, and we're like, right, but that's not our lived experience. That's the gap I want. That's what I need from each of you, right? That little piece that says, oh, that's not true. That not true is a recommendation. That what is going to grind your gear when you're like inside of the framework, right? And again, this can change. Once we get through these four and we get, Julie and Brennan here and it expands more, we're like, okay, we can put this aside, or we can add to it, because there's no end. Say the phrase again.
Don't let perfection be the enemy of good.
Right.
It almost-
We're not going to solve every problem inside of this. But we're also, what we can't keep doing is spending 6 months on one thing. If something isn't to your liking and the recommendation still hasn't been put forward, bring it forward. And if you just can't get it there, it's not that it's not a good recommendation. You just, if you get the votes, great, move it forward. If you didn't, work on it. But that would really be on your time and, doing your thing on your outside.
I do have one it's on. Yep, it on. Thank you. I do have one. I don't know if this is, I see this happen quite a few times, like it's parking though. So let's say I go to even at the, Rady Shell, I would go to play basketball, but if they're having an event, they will block off the,
Accessible
There's no
parking.
ADA.
no 88.
So-
I'm like, is this, can you do, I don't, I'm saying, can you do that? I just don't understand. Why would you do that? You know what I mean?
That
Um,
seems like a transportation.
Oh, that's one section, yeah.
That is exactly what we need. That is what?
I was listening to you. I was listening to you, Karen. I was listening.
why
That's
we put-
sometime
I know, it's okay. I forgot.
It takes me a while, but
It's all
when it's
good.
explained, I can really, my gears can work. My gears can work.
Right, okay. So that's exactly what it is. Think about it from the sense of what is just like, that really ticks me off.
There's a few places that do that, they'll exit off when their traffic gets heavy, or even at the beach area or something, or there's an event going on, and
Yeah.
they'll put something there or put their own sign out there, and it's clearly marked, everything's disability pole, disability sign, disability on the sidewalk, and they'll put something there.
Not only that, oh, I'm sorry, not only that, but to add to that, what really grinds
says
my
be quiet,
gears
do it.
is the big stores now that have in the very front put the delivery drive up only area,
Before
right? And the charging stations.
this is true.
So I'm not going to drop a name on Walmart, but holy Jesus, or
Yeah.
Vaughn's, right? So
Yeah, no, you're right.
it's my gears so much so I want to make a recommendation to the Board of Supervisors specifically to hey, look, that's great, you get to drive up and get your groceries, but I now have to park in no man's
It
land.
moves to the back.
And there's days that I don't look disabled, but there are, like today, man, I'm in so much pain. I'm beside myself. I want what is grinding your gears inside of this focus.
I don't want to switch topics, Laura, here, but this is good stuff here. But like, for instance, I was going to the airport with a cane with my disability plated car, and there was a sign about shuttle parking or something in the disability spot, the only one that was open. I had to put my car in neutral, emergency brake, because there was a service dog in the car, get out when I'm not feeling well, move the sign, and then be able to park. And that's just an education issue
Yeah, it
of
is.
that you don't block a disability spot with a literally, like, the standard triangle. Just, it was something unimportant. I might have taken a picture. I was so furious.
Yeah. Yeah, no. So now you see how this is going.
Yeah,
That
now
grinds her gear, right? Okay, Jeanette, what is
Well,
grinding your
I don't-
gear?
Well, all of these things that you're talking about are now grinding my gears. I have a lot to learn. I don't have a ton to add, but in the instance of those types of situations, we make a recommendation that something around, don't be oblivious, don't put stuff in ADA parking spaces. It doesn't seem like that needs to be said, but in the moment,
Yeah.
so I run across that situation, I'm driving there, I see that, who do I call?
What do I do?
Yeah, I mean, the Board of Supervisors may end up addressing that at some point. In that moment, because now I'm gonna be eagle-eyed for this stuff. Who do I call the police? I have a girlfriend who sees these signs in places that they ought not be and just stinking moves the signs over to the side of the road. Is that what I do? I mean, I know you moved it because you needed to park.
But I was able to. Laura here. Is
There
there,
was a huge sign, you might not have been able
I
to.
wouldn't have been able to. Is there a county get it done like the city has?
There is, but
Yeah.
so some so it depends as to who do you call and as the county ADA Title II coordinator, um, all properties that are in San Diego County are not necessarily San Diego County jurisdiction. So it may be a city jurisdiction, it may be private property, it may be the property manager for the strip mall, it could be Kaiser Permanente or Walmart, and those entities are not necessarily within the jurisdiction of the county and the Board of Supervisors. But if you do have a county property, then it's definitely the person to contact is the county ADA Title II coordinator. And then so I get calls. I've got 3 calls on voicemail about landlords, and that's not in our jurisdiction. But so we get those calls. But I think to the point that where you all are going is to not just come in with an issue, but to come in with recommendations about addressing the issue. So I know, sorry, I know that this particular topic is one of 3 focus areas that we're planning to discuss, and we're now at a little after 4 o'clock. So I didn't know if you wanted to continue to discuss emergency preparedness. We do have a member of the public with their hand up. I believe the topic may be around emergency preparedness for public comment on this topic. So I don't know if how you want to address.
And Carolyn, I have a wrap-up thing I'd like to say about it too.
So let's do Sue and then we'll do public.
Perfect.
Okay.
So what I'm uncomfortable doing as a committee to the Board of Supervisors is saying blah, 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 if we haven't done our homework. I mean, sure, we're volunteers and all that, but there are a lot of people working on emergency preparedness for people with disabilities. The Red Cross does it. All of their shelters must be, and typically are, very accessible. They have to be. That's why they have the disability integration team. And the county does stuff, and they know. And the city of San Diego has their emergency operations center. SDG&E has notifications and all kinds of programs about people with access and functional needs in a disaster. So it behooves us to understand that and to come from the bottom and build up rather than jump in the middle and go wah, 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 in my opinion. And that's just my opinion.
Yeah, I think what I wanted to do, and I think that happened successfully, is so that everybody kind of is on board of the grinding the gear part. So that part, we kind of did go, we're like an ice cream sandwich. So we're in the gooey middle part, which is awesome. And then maybe we could restructure from the bottom when we get, more in alignment. So I'm going to Phyllis.
I'm sorry, you calling me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. My concern is for the wheelchair residents here at the link. As far as I can tell, there's no emergency protocol for anyone who is in a wheelchair here. When the fire alarm goes off, these people are stuck on their floors, and we can see them at the front windows just sitting there waiting for someone to come and rescue them. And this is just, I mean, it's just frightening.
I
I don't,
apologize. Can you tell me where that location is? Does that fall within the county?
Oh, it's in the city. It's downtown, right downtown on 17th and G.
Okay.
You know, they're just sitting up there waiting for someone to come and get them, and they never come and get them. They are left on their floor in their apartment or in the hall there at the front window, just waiting to be rescued, and no one ever does.
Phyllis, this is Jessica. I just want to chime in because I know that you and I have sat in on some permanent supportive housing meetings together. While you're giving an example of the link, which is in the city, so the county can't actually really respond to that. But I know that this has been a conversation. Sorry, start video. I know this has been a conversation based around permanent supportive housing in the county as well. So I just don't want your point to go unheard because you gave an example of a building in the city, since I
Okay.
know your work extends also to permanent supportive housing for seniors, people with disabilities, people experiencing homelessness throughout the county as well.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, no, I just, Phyllis, thanks for your feedback, because it's important to know, you know, the different facilities that have this, because I would suspect that there are county facilities that have that same issue. So
I'm sure there, yeah.
so I absolutely hear you, and
Brennan has his hand up as well.
and thank you for that addition. I appreciate that. Brennan.
Hey, this isn't at all really my area of expertise, but I just had a thought. I was kind of curious, maybe as like an action item, we could try and create like a fairly comprehensive list of what we think would be the best solutions, and then look into maybe what kind of RFP or what kind of budget would be needed. I heard someone speaking about the like notifications. Like, would we need to do, like, would the county have to do an RFP and get a whole new budget for some kind of notification system? Would people find that effective? Like, I don't know. I'm just kind of interested in terms of how we can, I don't know, maybe kind of simplify things down to like most effective solutions and then budgets needed to move those forward. And that's just kind of my thoughts.
Yeah, no, that's a great addition. And that's also one of those opportunities where if you on your own, and when I say you, I mean every you on your own, if you have insight on that, and if you have somebody within the county that you can think of, that can come and present to us to help us from the ground up, to get the knowledge, so that we can present a recommendation based on knowledge and not just based on.
Sure. Do we have like, or is there, maybe this is too much to discuss now, but um, yeah, I would love to. I think it would be great to try and find whoever manages the Amber Alert system, maybe like a program director there, see kind of what's involved in like a notification system. Um, that should be fairly easy to find that person. And then I don't know if we're leaning towards the notification system, but maybe, um, yeah, maybe kind of narrowing it down to what this isn't also, my super area of passion, but whoever is, passionate about this and has, assigned to this. Um, to maybe be able to like give a kind of a breakdown of what they have learned is maybe the most useful, or what people would find most useful in those scenarios, whether notification or whatever else it might be, and then kind of attack those step by step. I don't know.
Yeah,
Carolyn?
yes.
Brennan, were you on the call when I talked about Alert San Diego?
Yes, briefly. Yeah, I heard most of it, I believe. That was just about a few minutes ago, right? I think that's what prompted me, that got me thinking.
Yeah, so that is a notification system. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, is that already in place to notify for
Very much
emergency?
so, for years and years, very much so.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. In
SD
terms of, okay. Oh, go ahead.
SD alerts is pivotal, and maybe making more awareness of people having it. And also there's a fire app.
Yeah, we need training on this. We need to have the whole bigger picture of all the characters and what needs to be done. You know, because sometimes you have to shelter in place. Sometimes you have to leave your place immediately. And what's the difference and why? We need a training.
And is it tailored or accommodating to persons with disabilities?
This would only be for people with disabilities, seniors. I'm going to call it access and functional needs. Yes, it would
Oh,
be
okay.
okay. And Red Cross does the trainings. County OES does personal training. We got an overview of it. We got
Okay.
a brochure on it, but we didn't do the training. We didn't do it. We don't know all the stuff. And that is I think that is an oversight for us. We need to have a little bit more.
So is that Falk?
Agreed.
That,
No,
who is that?
it is county OES or it is Red Cross, in my opinion. But they have to be able to address the big picture. Where do people go? Oh, there's shelters. How do they know where the shelters are? Well, there's notifications. There's TTYs. There's TVs. There's wind-up radios. If you don't have power, blah, blah, blah. I mean, those are the kind of things that I know, and I'm sorry that I can't pass it all down quickly. It's a lot, and a lot of
Maybe, sorry to jump in. Maybe there'd be like a way simplifying it. Like, I think I saw during like a fire evacuation that they used like a high school, maybe starting with trying to find like areas that the county has some type of authority over to like create like some kind of location. Like if there's an emergency, we can reach out to different high schools and have
no, we
I
had
don't know,
the
something like that.
The Red Cross coordinates all that for years, running with the county. The county's on top of where the fires are and then who goes out. And then the protocol is they call Red Cross and they say, hey, what you got around 4th and Vine? And they say, hey, there's a nice little elementary school. And Red Cross has already gone in, because I did it when I was with Red Cross, and done an accessibility survey. How many people will it sleep? Is there room for refrigerated food? How many cots? Blah, blah, blah. And so can people get in? And then they put out the notice and then people know to evacuate to that. So they have over 200 places in the county already identified. So we don't need to do that. Somebody's already done it.
Yeah, because, and also, when the OES will get spun up, which is the command center, when it gets spun up, then an incident commander, will get assigned and then they've already sort of tailored, hey, we can go here, we can't go here because that's right in the middle of the fire. So we don't need that info. We need the info of what is your strategic plan to, oh, good, Jesus. For access and functional needs, getting, the disabled and the elderly out, during, a crisis.
So it's great that you all are, the committee is having a passionate discussion. So we do have the speaker from the Office of Emergency Services is ready to cover off on his topic.
Perfect timing.
Yep.
Good timing.
So
Nice.
Nick, you're on the call.
Yes, sir.
Wonderful.
Hi, everyone.
Very good. I don't know how much of the discussion you heard, but we
I've been taking notes.
go ahead and go with your what you wanted everyone to know today.
Thank you, Todd. And I just to kind of follow up on the discussion, it sounds like there is a need to set up some training. Is that correct? On how to utilize the system, how to receive the notifications?
Yes.
Okay. And I can I'll put that as an action on my end for follow-up. And I think the second piece of that was, what's the strategic plan around not only notifying, but how are people with access and functional needs safely assisted? Is that correct, during a disaster, or evacuated?
That's correct. And that should include rural counties because those are the most problematic.
Yeah, and that this ties in very well. So as you know, the county has recently been updating the regional emergency operations plan. And it is a framework for how we coordinate during a large scale disaster, how we coordinate with multi jurisdictions. And we typically activate this plan for something that is regional in nature. So it could be the COVID pandemic as an example, or the 2024 flood that impacted multiple jurisdictions. It could be a fire that impacts not only the unincorporated, but also a jurisdiction, as well as public safety power shutoffs. When those impact multiple communities, that would activate this plan. And so we're currently going through the update process, and I'm going to put a link in the chat to our Engage San Diego County webpage. And that's just one way that you can look at the plan and provide specific feedback. There is specific sections, there's a care and shelter annex to that plan. There's an evacuation annex. There's a public information annex. And I would recommend this committee look at those specific annexes to start. I think those annexes kind of touch on some of the discussion that I'm hearing, and could be a great opportunity to expand upon those annexes as needed to address these concerns. And we will also be sending out an engagement survey in the coming week with additional sort of discussion topics to collect your feedback. So I'll be sending that out to you, Todd, to send out to the committee, hopefully in the next week. So our current comment period, though, for the plan itself to review is the end of October of this month. So that does leave us 2 weeks. But again, the survey, when we send that out, we're going to extend that to about a month. So we'll have some more time to get your feedback on that.
Nick, I'm sorry. Can you scroll back to those annexes real quick?
Oh, I've got that. I'm
Sorry,
scrolling.
Todd.
Yeah,
Okay.
there's 16 annexes, and then there's a basic plan. And the basic plan is really how we are organized, how we are structured. What's sort of the flow of requesting and coordination from the local incident level all the way up to the county, up to the state, up to the federal government level. And then beyond that, we have these 16 functional annexes that are specific topic areas that inform the regional structure. And as I was saying, I do believe some of the annexes maybe to start to look at to see where you could provide feedback would be the Care and Shelter Operations Annex, Annex G, and the Public Information Annex, Annex L, and Annex Q. Of course, we welcome your feedback on the entire plan. It is a really lengthy plan, so it may be easier to digest maybe some specific sections that we think are applicable.
I will add one thing. As somebody who has written those plans for the last 30 years, I don't envy you, but I will say that the first thing that I notice is there is no ADA annex on there. And there's no annex for rural county. So we'll probably end up working on that with you as well.
That'd be great. Yeah, the ADA piece is kind of weaved in different areas throughout the plans. But on the rural piece, though, we've heard of some similar. That's been a common theme across the public comment period, is that rural planning is not specifically addressed. So that is something that we definitely need to consider. I appreciate you sharing that.
Yeah, it would, as this board, even though it's weaved in there, if you're the if you're the disabled person, good luck trying to find through the weave where we need to know and what we need to do. So the easy recommendation that will probably come to you here shortly from this board is literally unweaving the ADA and
Mm.
making it its own annex. Um,
Okay.
especially for anybody who has any kind of disability that it impedes them looking at a 500-page document and trying to figure out where does their disability fall inside of that. So making an annex specific to ADA or whatever you want to title it, functional, whatever. That's the biggest thing that this board will probably put forward.
Yeah, thank you, Nick. Laura here. I just want to, Carolyn, I totally agree. There's so many disabilities that would struggle to find the information they need. I can think of 10 off the top of my head. So that would be a really good change that could be made.
And not just disabilities, if you have an elderly person that, isn't so savvy on the computer, the one drawback that I think the county gets, or their negative feedback that they always gets, is it's very complicated to navigate the county's website. And so if this doesn't have something specific to elderly, ADA, et cetera, if my father's a Vietnam veteran, 100% disabled. My dad would have not a happy time and actually wouldn't even go and look through here because there's nothing related to what they may think is what their issue is.
Nick, this is Todd. Who is the audience? Who would use this emergency operations plan? Who's the audience for the emergency operations plan?
Well, it's a great question, and it's, it is a whole community approach, and so it's, it's a regional framework in the sense that we're trying to capture the who and the what, not specifically, not the how is addressed in some cases, but we do have other plans, departmental plans that go more into the how to inform, both the different plans inform this plan in a sense. But to answer your question, it's public facing, so it's the audience is the general public. It's our tribal partners, it's our Live Well sector partners, it's our AFN community, it's our county departments, it's state and federal partners. Each of those different partners have sort of a stake, in this plan.
I didn't know if the people that were using this are the first responders and the office of the emergency operations professionals, or as the committee is communicating, if the general public is to use these annexes. I wasn't aware if that was.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. I mean, it's response coordination. So, it's not personal emergency preparedness plans. It's specific to how do we coordinate response during regional disasters that impact multiple jurisdictions. So, for example, there's the care and shelter operations, and there is a section within that annex that discusses access and functional needs planning considerations for shelters. So that information is sort of documented for planning purposes when we have to stand up a shelter. So it is applicable in that sense because that's the audience that we are serving. However, there are specific departments identified in that annex that would do that work, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and also somebody that comes from corporate security, anybody who is overseeing critical infrastructure, even within the county, but not the county, would always resort to looking at your plan to update their plan. So when you update your plan, critical infrastructure inside of the county, so that could be, I bet you SDG&E looks at your plan, all of these banks, all these folks are looking at that plan, and inside of who those folks are, those are also our community members. So there's multiple layers of why people are looking at this.
Absolutely. No, it's thanks for saying that. It's traditionally it's been a plan, unfortunately, that's I think been too focused on agency roles, and we're really trying to do a better work around ensuring this plan reflects the needs and priorities of the community, to drive the overarching response priorities. I mean, that's the goal, but we can't, that's why we're that's why we're kind of increasing and elevating this engagement right now.
Sorry to interrupt you. Keep going if you don't mind.
Yeah, so that's, I mean, that's really, it's not really a presentation today. It was just sort of a reminder that we are going through this sort of public comment period. And, we welcome feedback on any of these annexes. And we will be sending out a survey here shortly to collect additional feedback. There's also the opportunity, if you'd like us to, we're going to be doing some plan validation meetings in December, where we will present the feedback that we received and how it may shape the plan. So that might be an opportunity where I could come before the committee and present the feedback that we did receive and have a discussion about how it should be integrated. And then it will be integrated during a final draft comment period in March of next year. So that'll be another opportunity to see how the feedback was integrated and provide final feedback.
That would be pretty fantastic. We're also looking for, the gaps, if there's things board can look at that you have a gap that you need to help fill in alignment with what this board does. That's what we're also looking at. So when people come to present, we want to know all the great things you're doing, but we also want to know what you guys struggle with so that we could take a look at it through our lens and perhaps provide a recommendation to our board of supervisors that may be able in the long run to be able to help you out.
Thank you. Yeah, that would be, that's I'm hoping that with the feedback we do receive on this initial review, that some different types of gaps or topic areas of interest come up that we can then help facilitate that discussion. I think that'll be helpful going into December.
All right. Anybody have questions? Sue? Sue looks mad. You're not mad, Sue. Tell me, Sue. Jeanette?
Nope.
No. 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 Anybody online have questions for this lovely gentleman? No?
Nick, this is Todd. So the public comment period is open until October 31st. You had mentioned, you had mentioned another survey. Is that a separate survey, or should the committee members go to this page? And I'm going to send them the link. Should they go to that page and review that? Or if they need it in a printed version, can we get it in a printed version in large font so that they can review that?
Yeah, to answer your first question, there will be a separate survey that will go out with some additional follow-up questions to facilitate discussion. And that survey, once it's released, it'll be out for a month. So it'll go beyond the October 31st date. In the meantime, we're inviting this committee to look at the plan that is on the Engage site, specific sections that are of interest, and provide direct feedback. You'll see actually when you scroll down to the plan itself, you can insert comments directly in the tool there. So that is one way to provide feedback. But if the committee would like to look at some other ways to review it, if you'd like us to email a PDF of the plan, that's an option. If we want to look at some hard copy options, we can discuss that as well.
Yeah, because I suspect a hard copy of that is going to be a couple hundred pages.
Yeah, about 500.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and like you said, this is a working document. I've done hundreds of these documents. So it's every time somebody has an update, it gets pulled out and updated. So
Mm-hmm.
So I'd love to work with you. This board would love to work with you. There's a couple gaps that we already see that we'd love to have conversations with you. And so I appreciate your time.
Oh, thank you. I really look forward to working with everyone. And again, you may see this date coming up, October 31st. This is really, this is just the initial review. There's going to be plenty of other opportunities. You know, as I mentioned, we'll have the final draft comment period next year to look at how the feedback is integrated. But even before that, I think it might be, if the committee welcomes it, I can do a presentation in the December, January timeframe to share the feedback we did receive and discuss how it best can be integrated.
Yeah, that would be perfect. Not only that, but if you can also, when you do a presentation with us, if you consider being vulnerable enough to let us know what the gaps are and the things that you're not getting answers to that is applicable to ADA and the scope of the board, we'd love that info as well, so we can help you with that.
Thank you. Yeah, that would be great. Absolutely.
Perfect. Any questions, comments, concerns? No. You're thinking about it. All right. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it and have a great day.
You too. Thank you all.
Thank you, Nick.
All right. So agenda item number 8. So we kind of a little bit veered out of our working session. I apologize for that. But we'll get there. So agenda item number 8 is our committee business organizational goals.
So this was the section to, and maybe we may want to talk about future meeting structure first, because I think we've talked about being able for the committee to be able to learn as well as do. And so I think learn is hearing from, as we've heard from Nick, people like Nick, people in the county that are specialists who are paid to do certain things and to get certain work done. But to be able to mix that with working sessions such that you're able to come together as a committee and to discuss certain recommendations, topics, grinds, I guess is the word. But to have time so that you can work as well as have speakers to speak. And I think one of the things that your committee may want to get agreement on is how to balance that, how to balance the focus areas. I know that it's been discussed to have one focus area in a meeting, or to have all 4 focus areas in a meeting, but to manage the timing so that you can cover the what needs to be covered, so you can get some. Everybody feels that some achievements and progress has been made. So I don't know if you want to talk about the meeting structure, but one of the things on the organizational goals was we had discussed or heard from one of the former members about some of the things that their committee started, wanted to do. And some of the things included to provide some recognition to to community members and to community organizations for recognition for a job well done or achievements that have been made in the area of accessibility, to have some recognition program or some recognition activity as a committee. That's one item. Another is to have individuals participate, attend Board of Supervisor meetings, and to actually report back to this committee anything that's going on from a Board of Supervisor perspective that the member deems would be of interest for the committee, because there are a lot of activities that are going on with the Board of Supervisors that I believe may have some interest. I try to bring those things. I try to email and send in an effective communication manner to all of the committee members anything that I see that I think would be of interest. But I think that it would be good for the committee to have some eyes on it. And if each member wanted to either sit in on or dial in on committee or the Board of Supervisor meetings, and then potentially speak with Board of Supervisor staff on different topics. But I think those are some um, thoughts that I wanted to make sure that the committee is aware of and is considering for organizational goals. Not something you have to do. I just wanted to make sure that it's brought up to your attention.
Yeah, and I think we had talked about at some point earlier for the new folks that may not know, if you do, and correct me if I'm wrong, but if you do attend, say, for example, like the Live Well, you can submit a gas receipt to Katie, right? So to kind of prompt you into helping or, getting into some of these events a little bit more. Is that the same for a Board of Supervisors? So
That
somebody,
would not be the same.
no, okay. I tried. Okay. You don't get paid for that. Has anybody, I know,
You can dial in
yeah,
to Board of Supervisor meetings.
well, that's what I was gonna ask. Has anybody in the last 60 days, dialed in or gone to a Board of Supervisor meeting? No. Okay, so we all now can challenge ourselves, that if we, and I'm not going to put it on each individual because I recognize all of us with different disabilities and different lives and we're not paid for it. So if you do, that should be that should be an agenda item that we can see if anybody has a report for Board of Supervisors.
Yeah, we usually do have something, from, a report out from the Board of Supervisors if anyone had anything from their supervisor, and we can have that as a standing item.
Okay. Go. I know you're going to say something good.
No, Laura here. I really like the idea of us getting involved more with the Board of Supervisor meetings to stay more informed, to keep our thumb on the pulse of things, to do more networking, have people know who we are, attend sometimes in person. So, I mean, maybe the thing to do is for us to strive to be there, or maybe it should be somebody's role every
Especially if
time.
there's something
When there's
that,
something relevant, of course. Yeah.
I know that I gone for the 88th, no, what was that?
proclamation.
Proclamation. Was that what we went for? No, there was something else. Okay, good. I'm glad you don't remember either. But I know in the last 6 months, you and I have gone to one. Maybe?
I watched them regularly.
Yeah.
So, but yes.
But I guess my point was, I don't know. I don't have a point. That's, I'm struggling a little bit. So,
Carolyn, to fill in there, if you don't mind, Laura here, is just that what I'm envisioning is that we have it as an agenda item and nobody attended, which is fine, but that we have no report, maybe besides from you, Todd.
yeah, it almost gives us a little bit of accountability, right? So maybe to kind of, nudge somebody, if we see that a month or two has gone by and nobody has anything to say, maybe we should participate a little bit more. Recognizing that everybody's a volunteer, and that may not happen. So we're not going to shame people into not going.
I just I offered it as activities that could be considered. It doesn't have to be something that if, it was really more of bringing up something that had been discussed previously to make sure that it didn't fall off the radar. Oh, and Member Kramer has her hand up.
Yeah, so I am part of a working group every Friday that has that continuously organizes around Board of Supervisors meetings and agenda items. And I often weigh in from a disability perspective, and then other people, bring the messages forward. But I will do my best to keep track of items that come my way in those weekly meetings and do my best to educate the committee when it's relevant. So yeah, I just wanted to say that. Thank you.
Perfect. That gets us
And then
slightly off the hook.
Board of Supervisor agendas are sent out, so you can subscribe to that and then receive the agenda in advance and then review the agenda and make a determination if there's something that is of interest.
Laura here. We can save this for another time, but when it comes to awards, which I think are great, I also worry that it would take up a lot of our time, possibly have an appearance of impropriety of some sort, conflict of interest. I just want to say that I do think it's a great idea and I want to recognize community members helping in this area, but that's all for now.
Actually, that's exactly what I said to Todd when we had a conversation, that we have to be very, very careful to remain nonpartisan, no biases, and no conflict of interest. So when people consider somebody, please open your aperture pretty wide and see if there's any conflict there so that this board can remain nonpartisan. And if you do have conflict of interest, not a big deal. You just have to declare it and remove yourself from the room during that time, and then good to go.
That would be if there is going to be a recognition program. It hasn't, I haven't heard that
I'm struggling, man. Come on.
be an organizational goal yet.
Yes, work with me. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm really struggling right now. Agenda item number 9, new business. Future agenda items, behavioral health services, request for modifications. I really don't have, yeah. So we addressed it, that will be on there. Does anybody, I'm so sorry. Paul, do you have anything?
No.
Actually, I meant, do you have anything to add in total?
Oh, Paul, microphone.
I went back to number 9 when you said that. Oh, no, not at this time. I was just listening. Everything's good.
All good here? Thank you.
Oh, good.
I'm good.
Meeting after that, if you'd like to stick around, please do so. Remember, there is no questions, comments, concerns outside of the executive meeting.
Microphone.
So if you are in here and you want to chat with your fellow board members you haven't seen forever, please go ahead and take them outside while we can continue to conduct our business. Other than that, Todd, you have anything?
Meeting is adjourned. Is that what you said?
Yes, meeting adjourned. Done.
Be on the call tomorrow.
Yes.
You know, the Stoli did say she was gonna